hello there, families and parents. Didn't see you there. Welcome. Come, please. Welcome to what I like to say is my own little neighborhood. Yeah. And this is your children's neighborhood. This is where your kids get to come for language arts and enjoy, hopefully learning about new cultures and new ideas and perspectives and all those great things that we want our children to learn, as well as building on their literacy and their reading ability. So I am Mr. Byers, and I will be here today to help you have a better understanding of what it is that your children are learning in 12th grade multicultural literature. There it is. All right, I'm going to share with you a wonderful PowerPoint that I made that will go over all the things that you need to know for this year. So sit back and enjoy. If you want a nice little cup of coffee to get you through it, I don't blame you. Okay, it's fall. How exciting. Fall semester, first semester of 12th grade year. The students, this is their final year of hopefully high school in general, but especially English. My name is Mr. Byers. Just so you know, I've been teaching for 17 years, high school, and I'm pretty much from the very beginning, I've been teaching adjunct college also because we don't get paid a lot. So 2 incomes, what? Fantastic. I pull in, the only reason I'm mentioning really the college stuff is because for 12th graders, I pull in a lot of college style teaching methods and assignments, especially for those who plan on going to college next year, which is the majority of my students. Okay, so trying to give them some real clear expectations of what they're going to experience next year. Currently I teach at Gwinnett Tech College online. What? Okay. So multicultural literature and writing. This class is essentially an elective that replaces the more normal 12th grade English class, which is British literature. This class is a class that gives students an alternative choice for their 12th grade course. Okay. In this class, what makes this class uniquely different is that this focuses on, and I'm just going to read this, developing a social justice intelligence and a call to action in students through the study of world literature and informational texts written by and about people of diverse ethnic, gender, ability, sexualities, and economic backgrounds. Students explore themes of linguistic and cultural diversity by comparing, contrasting, analyzing, and critiquing writing styles and universal themes. Okay, good times. All right. So this class is essentially a multidiscipline course that combines all the following: English, history, psychology, sociology, philosophy, political science, and art. Ooh, very exciting. Okay. This class is optional. Parents, if you're sitting there and you're like, what? This is an optional class. Your child signed up for this course. If a student did not sign up for this class, then they were all given senior British Lit. During registration, we have a lot of students who don't care what they do next year, and they don't do anything during registration. They're just like, give it to me. I don't care, whatever. I just want to leave. Then they get British literature. If a student, the only way a student ends up in my class is if they specifically sign up for it. And every student had to get a permission slip signed essentially by y'all. So if you signed a syllabus, then you shouldn't be that shocked about what you're hearing. If you are like feeling bamboozled, your kid just gave you a bunch of syllabus and you just signed them without reading them, and you're like, no, I don't necessarily want my kid reading about gender and sexuality and different ethnic backgrounds, then you may have your child removed, which is totally fine. And then they go to senior British literature and they learn about Brit Lit, which, I mean, I love Brit Lit. I married a woman who was born in England, so of course I'm down with that. But this is just an alternative for people who want to take something other than people who don't want to read Beowulf. I mean, who wouldn't want to read Beowulf? But there are a lot of people who don't want to read Beowulf, so they're in this class. But if you're like, my child needs to read Beowulf, then you can email the school and have them moved. Standards. All the standards are skill-based. There are not facts to be memorized for the district exams, okay? And most of the high school standards have repeated from year to year anyways. But these are some standards that make this class uniquely different. Standard 9 says read, comprehend, and analyze literature / informational texts that are written by and or are inclusive of characters of different races, ethnicities, religions, genders, sexual orientations, disabilities, and languages. Draw inferences and conclusions about a range of texts representing diverse topics and authors. Determine the effects of the cultural environment on or in the text. Analyze the effect of certain words, phrases, and contemporary conversations on race, ethnicity, sexual identity, and pop culture. Okay, so our discussions on, again, race, on gender, on sexual orientation, on religion, these are all from the standards. This is not just Mr. Byers wanting to talk about these things. But that's why I teach this class, because I like talking about these things. So do understand that we will be having classroom conversations. I mean, if I can get them to talk, tell you what, your children, your students, your guardian, whatever people you're taking care of at your home, they don't necessarily like to partake in topical academic conversations, but the goal is to get them there. Politics. I'm recording this on the night of the debates, so maybe we'll talk about those also. All right. Politics is another issue. All right, moving on. See, here's some of the units. If you are interested, last unit we covered college and post high school preparation. I know some people don't plan on going to college, so we talked about other options. This month we're talking about race and xenophobia. We're studying Malcolm X and American-born Chinese. Next month we'll be looking at film and media, and they'll write a formal paper about media representations. We'll talk about gender perspectives and interpretations. November, actually through possibly January, depends if we have to cut this unit early because of the holiday. So the next unit ideally is our shared humanity, representation in art, and then American Like Me. A lot of these come from, if you are interested, they come from the Gwinnett County curriculum. I have it right here. Woo, woo, look at that. Isn't that so nice? Hello, can you see me? Oh, no. And so, again, much of this is not Mr. Byers. This is coming from the county as well. So I focus a lot on writing and being able to thoroughly explain your ideas, whether that is verbally or through the written word. So this is an example of the type of tasks that we often do. I give them an open-ended discussion question. That's usually on a topic that's both on something that we're covering in class and then other topics that, like, especially terms that apply to outside of our class. So like this question is, reflecting on the discussion about microaggressions and cognitive bias, discuss the microaggressions Jin and Wei Chin's teachers commit and how it shows their cognitive biases. So like this is in reference to the book we'll start reading soon, American-Born Chinese. So the characters of Jin and Wei Chin are fictional, but the topics of microaggressions and cognitive bias, these are very real life issues, things that apply to right now that's going on. And I mean, if you just look at the Tyreek Hill incident with the Miami Dolphins and how he was detained, I mean, I think a lot of that, the way that the cops reacted to him was based upon their cognitive bias. So we'll talk about that. All right. So we'll take things that applied outside the class, but then also bring them into things that we're covering specifically for the class. And then they have to write. And generally, because there is some right or wrong answers. Other times it's it's up to their interpretation. But a lot of their grade is based upon how much effort they put into it. So like this would be the space that I give them to write. And these indicators tell them how much they need to write in order to receive a certain grade, based upon also that what they've written is thoughtful. So if someone stops writing here, the highest grade they can get, even if it is correct, is a C. They need to be able to learn how to lengthen and extend their conversations on these types of topics. So, with 12th grade, really that distinguishes itself, since so many of the standards are the same as 11th, 10th, and 9th grade, is the expectation of quality and the depth of responses. They're not necessarily showing that much difference in skills from a 9th grader to a 12th grader, but they should be displaying a wide variety in the depth of their thought. There should be a distinct difference between a written response in terms of what it's being said in a 12th grader's response than what is being said in a 10th grader's response. So I'm really pushing them to be able to write quality responses. Grading, classwork's 35%, summatives 45%. Okay, you'll see some things worth more than others. So with quizzes will go in one time, but like a test, you'll see a test grade entered in twice because it's worth more. We can't do things like a quiz is worth 50 points and a test is worth 100 points. Everything has to be out of 100. We can't say quizzes are weighted at 2, tests are weighted at 1, because parents can always see that. But parents can see that this quiz was entered once and that this test was entered twice, and this project might be entered 3 times. So that demonstrates the value of these items. Tests are worth more than quizzes. Okay, projects might be worth more than tests. Maybe not. A formal paper usually is a test grade, so that'll be entered in twice. You'll just see formal paper 1 and formal paper 1, 2 columns, 2 grades, same grade though. Final exam is 10%. I write the final exam, and the performance final, I write that too. We do not have county or district exams for this class. Okay, let's see. Mondays, we do vocabulary. Fridays, generally, this is the way it works, is that they have 2 weeks to cover, to learn their vocabulary. We do a couple practices in class, and then we'll have a quiz, usually every other Friday. Sometimes I skip a week or 2 weeks. Okay. And so I just introduced a set this week. And so they will have a test in 2 weeks from now over those words. All right. Generally, the weekly schedule flows as this. Mondays are independent work days where they will read and do stuff on their own. I will give them tasks that I'm not teaching them. I give them written directions, and they have to process it and kind of figure it out. Okay. And that's to help them prepare for the fact that, like, in the world, things are not always laid out for them clearly. And in college, there are things that professors purposefully do not fully lay out for them. And that is, in and of itself, is a test to see how capable are they of figuring things out. So building that independence and self-learning is really, really important. And especially since, like, 90% of all jobs require on-the-job training, and kind of no one is qualified for any job that they're really hired for. There's always things they have to figure out. So the students have to start kind of like practicing that. So on Mondays, I give them the work and the directions, and they figure it out. And then I grade. Tuesday through Thursday, I teach, I lead class, we do things together, they do group work. I instruct, we read stuff together, we watch stuff together, we analyze stuff together. It's all pretty groupy. And then on Friday, they have independent work days to finish the work that they started, turn it in, complete, prepare for the quiz, that sort of thing. Okay. I'm not big on homework. I provide class time for 99% of everything. If they don't finish it in class, then it becomes homework. So a lot of time spent in class is working. They are doing the work in class. I don't like them to to have to go home and do homework, because I hated homework in high school, and I hate when my own children have homework because I want to hang out with my kids. Even though now they're the age where they're like, oh, I'd rather be in my room working than hang out with you, Dad. So whatever. But ideally, though, I don't assign homework because I think they have enough going on outside of school. Okay. Due dates are pretty flexible. I provide a date in which is the last day that we'll be working on it in class, and then they'll have to turn it in before I finish grading the whole class. As long as they get the assignment in before I finish grading it, it's not late. I don't ever count, I never check what date it was actually turned in. I just want it in the turn-in tray by the time I go to turn it, to grade it. So it just needs to be turned in eventually. There is no doctrine or worldview students must ascribe to do well in this class. All grading is based on the standards of English writing and communication. I see this course as a pre-English 1101 course. A student could take this course being fundamentally opposed to all the ideas discussed here and still make an A. There's like objective stuff, like they need to be able to understand a term like double consciousness. Now, they don't have to agree with it, but they have to at least be able to define it. They might not, or a term like assimilation. And they might have to analyze whether a character is assimilating or they just happen to being their true self. And so their opinion can be different than my opinion, as long as what they've written justifies their opinion. Okay. So trust me, I've had plenty of students who have made A's in my class whose opinions I did not share. Okay. So I know sometimes parents get a little iffy, like, oh, is he going to hold certain beliefs over my kid's head and force them to believe X, Y, and Z? And that is not the case at all. It's very objective. Okay. I'm focused on the same thing I'm focused on with my college classes. Can you have a claim? Can you back it up with support? And then can you thoroughly explain it? Okay. That's it. And even in this class, we talk about how there's no debating. We don't argue each other and we don't debate each other. We seek to understand each other, even if the person has a different opinion. Okay. Because debating and arguing has a sense of we're trying to win. And sometimes trying to win clouds our discernment and clouds our ability to understand. And maybe we're the ones who need to be won over, There've been plenty of times I've said stuff and people are like, all right, I don't think that's right. And they tell me what they think. And I'm like, dang, you're right. No, that was good. You're right. I totally missed it. Come on. Look at this guy. I'm teaching about diversity. Okay, there's a lot for me to learn probably still. So I am not holding anyone to any specific perspective. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna post this PowerPoint will be posted on my eClass page. So you can go back through it and you can read it word for word if you would like to. Okay, I'll have it posted. Here's my contact information. Oops. All right. Jeremiah.byers@gcpsk12.org. Email me if you have any questions, statements, thoughts, theories, feelings, or you just I don't know, you just want to say something. I'm really open. I love just talking to the students, hanging out with them, listening to them, trying to figure out what it is that's going on with their lives. I try to apply what we're doing to their real lives. So, I have a pretty open door. If kids ever need help with anything, you can tell them just to come to my room and we will talk. Okay. So that's it. Email me if you have anything else. Okay. I hope this was helpful. All right. Goodbye.